better, who looks better, who's making more money, who gets to go on more vacations.
I'm gonna go throw up now.
So basically, no one knew that I told. I was the whistleblower.
What if he had a heart attack? You know, what if he's dead? Like,
welcome back to Traumatic Comedy. Tonight's episode is for anyone who has cried in the bathroom at work, thought about punching their boss instead of punching out, rage texted their bestie on their work break, or worked their way into burnout. We're talking about workplace trauma, the kind that builds character, the kind that builds resentment, the kind that makes you say, I should start my own business. So clock in, lower your expectations, and if HR asks, this episode is satire.
It is.
Let's just start with the question we all ask ourselves every Monday morning when we wake up. Why do I have to go to work today? Who woke up and decided that we all owe capitalism 40 hours a week just to survive? Minimum. Literally. If you can get by on 40 hours a week. So who knows the answer to that? Who decided that?
First,
emerging in the early 20th century labor movement, shifting away from 10 to 16 hour days, by the way. So we're talking about even before that, though, you know, the structure that we live in coming from that, and that the actual 9 to 5, Henry Ford notably adopted a 5-day, 40-hour work week in 1926 to boost productivity and employee leisure, a standard solidified by the Fair Labor Acts of 1938, so like 12 years later.
Okay. So he's like helping us out.
Then I think it was more of a to help people because
you're
there
not
were
just
so
having people
many
burn out.
factories and companies that were using, like, literally working people to like nonstop. They didn't have.
There was no standard of labor at that time.
Maximum hour limit. So that at that point in time, I believe was actually to try to help and, you know, limit, like, hey, you can't work these people this much without break, you know, or whatever. Completely different now. Now we have to, if we want to survive in society, buy ourselves groceries, feed our family, also have some luxuries to do maybe something that we enjoy doing. We have to work that much. We have, like, everything now is money based. Everything is about money, and it's just like, if you don't have money, then you don't have a house, and you don't have a car, and you don't have food. You know, there's plenty of people out there that know how that feels.
I'm one of them.
Well,
I'm fucking one of them.
A really important note off of that is back when the 40-hour work week was adopted, 40 hours, which probably most likely had the head of the household working and was supporting his family, sometimes bare minimum, right? But people were supporting their families off of 40 hours a week. And today, you know, inflation does not match the cost of living.
No, not at all.
And everything is out of control.
So something needs to change.
And I think it's also important to understand that what the question is asking. And it's not to say, oh, demolish everything, but it really is if we look at how our society is constructed, we are not free to be just families or individuals, whether you're a man or a woman. You are every day, for the most part, when you wake up, you're under the rule of the societal structure that we were born into. So you don't get to question it. You don't get to wake up and say whatever. This is what it is. You have to wake up and you have to work to survive. And having good work ethic and all of that is important. Even when you look at, you know, the evolution of peoples in society, you've always had to be able to work one way or another. You know,
what's frustrating to me though is that we're not all working towards a common goal. Like my existential crisis is like, what the fuck are we doing here? And like, why are we not all trying to figure it out? Why are we all working? Why are we not like studying what the fuck is going on? There are some people who do, but why collectively as a society are we not all trying to do it? I mean,
well, I think the answer to that question really does have to be with how large our society, the United States of America, is now compared to how people were always set up throughout all of human history, right? We were never a people this big. You can't, as we can see, as evidenced by our country and countries this large, you can't totally govern under one idea this amount of people that we have. Some people, the fast pace in New York City that want to get millions of dollars so they can buy Lambos, that's great. but everybody doesn't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
if your idea of being rich and being wealthy, like for some of us or all of us, is, you know, actually having land with homes where we can raise our children, and work actually revolves around your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you can raise crops and you can raise animals and whatever it is, and raise your children and raise your families and live.
Or even just have like the freedom.
Yeah, in a
like,
community lifestyle. You can
yeah.
go out and travel if you want to and come back to your home base, and it's just you have to work according to the modern structure really hard to be able to achieve that lifestyle.
So
and what you'd want
basically,
to
we
be able to
need
work
a
as.
51st state, and then it can just be that. It won't be New York. It won't be all of that fast-paced shit. It'll be the only thing we do is try and figure out what the fuck's going on, and the people that
Yeah, we
work.
wouldn't be able to be a part of the United States.
Yeah,
You
probably.
can
not.
just buy an island.
That's fine by me.
Okay, Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, fuck off, do not.
Why would you say that?
I guess now's a bad time. I've been
Everything
thinking about
going
buying an island for years. So it's one of my plans. We're going to buy an island. We're going to buy an ocean house. We're going to buy mountain property. We have to have one on all the things.
Okay.
Don't.
I have mountain property.
You do have mountain
I'm
property.
still-
That's so funny.
I don't know.
Buy an island.
Well, we do. An island would be great where we can just go be our own thing.
Yeah, they did their own thing there.
Yeah.
Well,
they
we're not
did.
trying to do that. We're not weirdos.
I
thought,
feel
but I
like
forgot it.
to go along with that and like what we were just talking about, essentially what we've like, there's not very much true community anymore. Like people
Yeah,
live next
I
to each
agree with
other all
that
the time.
100%.
I was watching Sandlot the other day. I love that movie.
Oh, that's a good
And
one.
all the kids are going and they're playing baseball at this,
Sandlot.
public area. And then on the 4th of July scene, I love it because every single house on that block has tables. Like everybody's out there, their doors are open, and the whole entire street is full of tables and food and kids
Everybody's
and
pitching
fireworks.
in. Like
So how do we
everybody's
get
just
back to
enjoying.
that even?
Yeah,
Even that sense
But
of
you know,
community, how do we
this
get back
is
to
what this is what I was gonna say. That what you were talking about with that common goal, I think that we're past that because people are so caught up in competing against each other. It's always a fucking competition nowadays. It
Yeah.
seems like
And the
whether it's
consumerism.
money, consumerism.
I think a
it's
lot of that
crazy.
comes from social media, though.
Yeah,
And it's
absolutely. I would agree.
Yeah.
Technology has ruined the fucking world.
It can be helpful.
I'm just kidding. It actually is really helpful. I'm very grateful for it. But there's always gonna be downfalls, I think.
Oh,
with
yeah.
things. But yeah, I feel like that's been a theme that I've noticed in the last 6 months in my life. I've just watching people even in my current workplace. It's just this false sense of support and community, but there's just an air of who's doing better,
Mhm.
who looks better, who's making more money, who gets to go on more vacations, who has better whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It's just, and
Which
there's
that goes into jealousy.
Yeah.
People
There's no
are very
genuinity.
jealous.
Well, I think
That's
that's
not
a
right.
really important reason. Social media use is so common that it's really is becoming a problem, right? That we
Yeah,
look online
absolutely.
and compare our lives to others and this and that.
yeah.
And that's a really unhealthy way to use social media. And the
Mhm.
flip side of that, which is what I like to do, and Mike Posner again just made
I
a
know,
sick
I
ass
love him.
post kind of reanalyzing his lyrics from one of his most famous songs
Mhm.
and how that's changed, over the course of 10 years. That runner I really love, Matt Johnson. He is somebody
Mhm.
who's doing great things, right? He's motivational and inspirational rather than looking at him and say, he's not boasting about going on vacations or look at all this money I have. He shows him working hard
Mhm.
and getting up every day and doing the hard shit and
Yeah.
also showing that he's not perfect in that.
Yeah.
So he's somebody that you can look at and say, wow, I want to be like that, rather than,
Yeah.
wow, they're so much better than me, or I'm not doing that as well as that person. you know?
Yeah, I wish
It's
there was
about
more
how you
of
want to
that.
use
Like,
it.
it's kind of like that question or whatever, like that is like, this person motivates me. Like I am motivated to do these things because of this person, rather than a lot of people are
Intimidated.
I want
Yeah.
to be this person, or I am envy, like
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like almost a variation of like the mindset there.
Coveting thy neighbor, bro. That's what it is.
It's perspective. It really is. You can look at it for
yeah.
inspiration, or you can look at it.
It's looking at your neighbor and saying, I want everything they have.
Yeah.
Not doing anything to get it, and like, failing to appreciate what you have.
Absolutely,
yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And yeah, even going back to that working hard thing, like, you know, last week you were not feeling good. I'm not feeling good this week.
I went to work dog ass sick, dude.
But you know what? I always have to find a way to bring up Taylor Swift. You know me. But I think she gives a really great example too, because she would like perform when she had the flu, when she was super fucking sick, and nobody had any idea. I mean, when she would like wipe her nose and there's snot coming out her hand. I mean, that's a thing. But my point is that when you're dedicated to something and you really want to see those results that you were talking about, sometimes you just have to fucking push through that shit.
Yeah.
And but so to a healthy standard, though, like, you still have to take care of yourself. You still have to make sure that you're healthy in your mind, your body, spiritual, whatever the fuck.
So speaking of having to work so much just in order to survive and all the things that we deal with as human beings, do you think society secretly needs people to be exhausted so that they don't revolt?
I don't think they need people to be exhausted, but I think they want people to be stupid.
I don't know. I think that kind of goes into that same thing, though. I think that they do want us to be fucking exhausted and so distracted. But for what?
But for what? Like, what are they?
But for what?
Because if they
their
want
financial gain and power, dude.
I think a better way to put that is there's sheep in the world and there's wolves in the world. And essentially, the more wolves they can get rid of, which are your business owners, your gun owners, your people, you know, your people out here, essentially, that kind of live their own lives in a sense. And then there's more of like your sheep people that are following along with every single societal trend, or doing, you know, being so enthralled with the news and, you know, believing every single thing that they see / read.
A really funny thing I think about that modernly, though, is everybody thinks they're a wolf. Everybody thinks they're a wolf, especially when you're on social media. A lot of people don't realize they're sheep because you have this whole group of people here and this whole group of people here, and they think they're so independent, and that's what they're fighting for, right? On both sides, you have that, and and I can say this, you know, we're not going to get political on this podcast, but like where I'm at, I don't fall far left, I don't fall far right, I got my own shit going on, and so to watch it from the outside looking in. You have two group of people who think they're totally opposite, and they don't realize that they're fighting for the same exact thing. And it is the protection of this modern thing that so many, it's a box. And that's what I mean when I say they don't need people exhausted. They want people dumb. And it doesn't mean that each individual is a stupid person. But overall, for me, when I look at it, if somebody hands you $1 million and you want to go buy a Gucci suit and a fucking Lambo, you're dumb. That's absolutely stupid. If you have no money, right, or you work paycheck to paycheck, or you just live a kind of regular thing and you get handed a lot of money and you want to go, like, your first things you're going to spend it on are material things that immediately devalue the second you buy them. And it's just physical material things rather than things you can actually invest in, use throughout your lifetime, and pass on to future generations. And your posterity. You're dumb. And that's what our society really is fueled around, you know, Starbucks and Stanley Cups. That's
Starbucks
what it is, dude.
Not to say that, like, working sucks and it's super bad and everybody has their own agenda. I know I have worked jobs that I've really enjoyed, actually. There have been moments, though, where I've encountered certain type of people, especially because I've worked for 15 freaking years in customer service. Work trauma. Do you think that it's real or not?
Or is it just a conspiracy?
Or is it just a conspiracy? Is it gaslighting ourselves into not wanting to work anymore?
I think it's real.
I absolutely think that work trauma is real. There are some encounters that I've had that will unfortunately stick with me for the rest of my freaking life. And I'm sorry to say it, but it's been men every single time. Like, I have had women where they've been like bitchy, you know, but I can kind of ignore them. There have been some instances where it's like horrible. So I want to hear some experiences. Also, if you guys have some work traumas or things that have just stuck with you, certain scenarios that have stuck with you over the years, we would love to hear about them. We'd like to know that we're not alone. Misery loves company.
Yeah.
So comment down below if you have any that you want to share with us, because we're interested. Do you think that work trauma is real, and have you had any experiences?
I do believe that work trauma or trauma within the workspace is definitely real, especially, and I believe that 100% varies from person to person, job to job, that kind of thing. It can vary from sexual harassment to, physical trauma as well. I have worked, I've worked in retail and customer service and bartending and cocktail waitressing. So I've had a very wide, and then now, obviously, with the business that we own and run, it is predominantly men. It's guiding and hunting, and so I, being a female, not only business owner and outfitter, guide as well. Like, I am the owner, and I also am one of the guides. I'm out there guiding these guys. So most men are actually kind of like, they get that like yes ma'am, kind of like, they're just like, most men are very, very respectful, and I don't question anything. There's no difference. I've had a couple men that kind of undermine, I guess, what I say, or question what I say. And actually, in one of those scenarios, I will say this is a big work trauma for me, like probably the biggest work trauma that I myself can think of, that actually slightly, truly traumatized me. So this was when I was working, when I very first moved to Colorado, and I started working for Randy's dad. So I was his guide. This was before Randy and I had the business or anything like that. So I am an employee, and I had two guys. The one guy was freaking phenomenal, absolutely amazing human being, like, enjoyed him completely. And the other guy, so they weren't together, they were two singles, they did not come together, didn't know each other, they met each other when they got there.
They were not Brokeback Mountaining.
The other guy was kind of an older gentleman that had some health issues, underlying health issues, whatever. We knew that he had some heart issues and things like that. So I knew that I had to I had to essentially take them in easy places, I guess you could say. And so one of my plan was to have them walk this draw together. Essentially, I was going to have the one older gentleman walk the bottom, and the younger gentleman walk up above, so that they had that covered and they're looking in front of them, whatever. And there's a fence line on the southern border, and I was parked on the fence line watching for them. Like, it was kind of one of those scenarios where it's like, don't expect to see anything, probably not going to see anything, but I can't really do much with this guy. And, and the guy that was walking on top, he was on the top of the ridge, so he could actually see over and see a lot more. But anyways, I had eyes on the older gentleman for probably like 90%, 80% of the whole time. Like, I could see him, watch him, bright orange coat, watch him going down the drop. But there was this one section of the hill where I couldn't see because it rolled over just a little bit more, and that was right before he should have started coming up towards me, before he got to the fence, which was private land. It said, do not cross a fence. Once you get to the fence, come straight up. Okay. So I'm watching, and I watch the younger gentleman. Bobby was his name. I don't think it really matters. So anyways, Bobby makes it easier. He didn't make it all the way to the fence. He started coming down, and I was like, as soon as I lost sight of Santos, he started coming down. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then I'm waiting, and now I can't see either of them. So I'm waiting, and we probably have an hour before dark at this point. And Bobby shows up. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, no, Santos should have made it to me before him. Like, so I immediately, I was like, did you see Santos? Where is he?
Mhm.
And he's like, well, I saw him start coming up, coming up the hill towards you. I could see you and your vehicle, right here. And I saw him go down and start coming up. So then I came down so that I could keep an eye on him. And at one point I lost sight of him, and I figured he'd already made it to you. And I'm like, no, he's not here. Bobby doesn't know where he is. We're looking for him. I can't find him. We're yelling for him. We fire 3 shots to see like if he comes to us. Nothing. So then we go back to I waited. I got a hold of Brandy's dad, told him everything. He brings everybody up, all the guides. We start gritting back and forth with our lights. It's dark at this point. And this whole time I'm just sitting here in my brain. I'm like, what if he had a heart attack? What if he's dead? Like, we literally, like, the brush is at least 3 foot tall, and we get back, we call search and rescue. They come out the next morning and they start, they get their dogs out, and then finally they get the helicopter out, and turns out he had crossed the private land fence and went and found a private cabin and slept on the porch of the cabin, and came back saying, well, I didn't cross any fences, and anyways, his excuse is, what it comes down to is I literally all that whole entire night was panicking, crying, bawling, because I'm like, this guy has a family, he has kids, how the hell am I going to tell them, like, their dad, their husband has passed away on my watch, my fault.
Oh my gosh.
So like that's the most traumatic thing that has happened to me in work by far, because that was, and it turned out being okay, and everything was fine.
That's good.
Fine, but like it was like that scared the absolute living hell out of me, and now I did not leave my hunter's side at all.
No, I've had a lot of traumas. I have had female bosses that were very bad. I had some that were really good too. There was one at I can't say it. I can't say where I worked. There was one at one place where I was cleaning, and there wasn't a lot of interaction with the guests. My boss, there's a lot that kind of roughed into why this was traumatic, but I had a really good boss at first, and then there was something kind of sketchy, some sort of scandal that happened where she told the manager something about her. She got fired, so she's our new boss, right? She, I think, had a drug problem. She definitely did. And we'd come in for the morning meetings before we would clean, and she would just kind of go off on everyone. She'd like spaz out, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I started recording it on my phone because it was so bad.
Smart.
It was so bad. And one day I remember, this one wasn't that bad, but it's kind of messed up because she came in. I'm someone who wears makeup, right?
Yeah.
So like that you wouldn't think this would upset me. But she comes in one day and she's like, you girls need to all be wearing makeup. You need to look nice. Like, just freaking out on everyone.
God, I'd be offended.
Like, yeah. And so I Googled it, and I was like, can an employer force you to wear makeup? It said they can in some jobs. But I'm guessing it probably has to be
They
part
can't
of
make
the
comments
job.
That would
about
have
your
to be part of, like,
appearance.
the hiring, though. Like, maybe you're like
Yeah.
a stage performer, right?
Huh.
That you're
Yeah, sure.
It wasn't in our fucking job description to look good. We barely
You're
saw.
cleaning. You're
Yeah.
sweating. If I would not.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways.
So yeah, she also ended up taking me to stay in a safe house one time, and I'm sitting there talking to the lady at the women's shelter, and she was on drugs, dude, and she's just like sitting there just
Oh
No,
my
nodding
God.
off the whole time, and I was like, this is so embarrassing.
Oh yeah, I'd be
And that
so
was my
embarrassed.
boss, like that. That's, yeah, and that was just one of them. I've had a lot of other bad bosses, which is why I work for myself now, because enough of those bad experiences will make you
Oh
wanna
yeah, dude.
get the fuck out of there. And I mean, I'm just starting, so like eventually when I like hire people, which I did hire you at one point, but like when I like really like hire people, I want to be a better boss, and like that's just my inspiration, was all the bad experiences that I've had.
That's great.
But,
That's a great takeaway, though.
mm-hmm.
That's a great learning experience of having shitty bosses and being
Yeah.
and knowing that none of that was okay, and I'm gonna do better.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference, I think.
Yeah.
I haven't
Be a
really had like
terrible boss.
traumatizing experiences. I worked customer service a long time. I still kind of do. I will like work with the public on it,
Mhm.
like public service, I guess, basically. But for the most part, I always worked retail. And so, of course, you meet people of all colors. I would say most of my uncomfortable instances have been like either being hit on or being degraded.
Yeah.
Like I got the comment a lot, and I would always get argumentative with men when they would say, for whatever reason, oh well, you're more than just a pretty face. Like that's such a degrading comment. Without, I don't know if it's supposed to be paid as a compliment because you're calling like, no, you're saying, oh, so you're not stupid.
You're pretty and smart.
Oh yeah, like no,
that's
I'm not
crazy.
fucking stupid.
Wouldn't have expected that.
So that was always irritating. And then like sometimes it's younger people that won't leave you alone, would get really weird, like find you on social media. And other times it's like really old dudes that think they don't have boundaries because of their age or something and could be uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, I've had that a lot.
When I worked at Cabela's in South Dakota, I actually worked in like firearms administration. So I had to know all the laws, like all the administrative side of ordering, having, selling firearms. I did all the paperwork on that, the shipping, all that, right? And when I wasn't doing the administrative side, if I didn't have anything to do, I'd go work the gun counter. And I can't tell you how many times. And it's just funny because there was me and one other female who was barely ever there. All the rest of the gun guys were guys. And I can guarantee they never got this question that I got almost on a daily basis. I'm standing behind the gun counter. I work here. I've got my name tag. And I don't know how many hundreds of customers would come up to me at the gun counter and say, do you know anything about guns?
Oh.
Like, no, dude, I just got back here because of my brown eyes, okay?
Right.
They just put me back here to stand here and look pretty. Like, I might know a little bit about guns. I'm standing behind the gun counter and you're coming to me to buy a gun, so I might know something.
Oh my god.
I might have put them together in the back.
You stupid and been like, no, do you?
Yeah, I actually did that a
Guns.
couple times. Like, no, they just pay me to stand here and I'd be like, no, like, yeah,
Oh my
I
god.
put
Yeah.
these guns together that are on display. So
Did
what do
you
mean?
ever have a man in that specific position that you were working? Did you ever have, maybe not just man, did you ever have anybody ask for you to go get a guy, like a man?
Oh, like
in your
request somebody
place?
else that might know something better.
Yes.
No, actually, I almost had the opposite, like the first one that comes to mind, because I was so infuriated at the time. I was super pregnant, right? At the time, a lot of people still didn't know I was pregnant because I took a while to show. And so I'm like vomiting all day long. I'm exhausted, right? My baby daddy's in jail, so that's all fucking with me emotionally. And I worked exclusively at that time with Air Force vets. Maybe that was a problem. Just kidding. Every single man that I worked with had either and or served in the military or was a cop. And the one guy even was an inner city cop in LA, like worked deep in some shit, you know, like these men have seen some shit for the most part. They know they should know how to be tough, right? Oh, they couldn't handle this 80-year-old dude in a wheelchair just trying to do basic transfer, whatever. An 80-year-old man needed some help. 3 different dudes, and I'm busy actually doing my work I had to in the back of the office, me and the one other guy I worked with, and they come back and ask him, he's like, I'm busy. They send like 2 other people, are like, we are not helping this man, he's so mean, he's so rude. They finally come get my guy, and I'm pissed because I'm like, we're working. He comes back, he's like, I'm not doing it. So I've got like 3 dudes here that can't handle this customer, and I'm like, this guy must really be something. And I actually told them, because they really all refused, you have to go do it. And yeah, we'll go send the 5'2" pregnant girl to go handle this. I'm like, you guys are fucking Air Force vets and inner city cops. We'll go send the pregnant girl. And I handled it, and it was fine. And by the time the guy left, he was actually in a great mood and said, thank you very much for your help. And then I was pissed because I was like, really, guys? They're all towering over me, these big tough guys. And I'm like, I'm going to go throw up now.
Wow.
So the only like traumatizing thing I had was when I was pregnant with my son and I worked at a retirement home. And there was a hospice section, and I did walk in on somebody passing away, which at that time I dealt with death a lot differently too. And I wouldn't say it traumatized me, but it was definitely a very unique experience. And yeah, not something you get every day.
Yeah.
My traumatizing experience.
Go ahead.
So it was shortly after George died, and let me preface about when George passed. He basically suffocated. Like there just wasn't enough oxygen and blood going into his heart, whole thing. So that was really triggering for me for a while, like suffocation was. And we had this kid who did not have a history of having seizures at all. And I don't know CPR, but I was working at a sporting goods store, and this kid and his dad were in an aisle, and he starts having this seizure. This kid does. Like, he's in like high school. The dad's freaking out, you know, and then one of the gun guys, Mo, came up, knows CPR, and knew how to handle that situation, but he was like turning blue.
Oh yeah.
And after it was all said and done, like, I was freaking out because it was so close to George, and I don't know why that triggered me so much, but I was like hyperventilating.
Oh my God.
That was the scariest thing. He was okay as far as I know, but when Mo, the guy who basically saved his life, was talking to me about it, and he was like talking about suffocation and like kind of going into this detail about it. And I like, I don't know, it sent me. I still have a hard time with suffocation, you know, but it's
Me
not
too.
as bad. But
Sorry.
yeah, me too.
We did actually also have 2 people get shot at work at that store.
Wait, didn't you sell bullets to that guy that went and like shot someone or something? Remember that? Remember she saw the guy before? He went and did something.
I remember something.
And you
Yeah.
sold bullets to him like the day before, and you were like, "Oh my God,
And
that was the
someone
guy."
did.
Someone we went to
Vaguely, I
school
feel like
with.
I vaguely
Who was that?
remember
I
that.
don't know. I vaguely remember what you're talking about also.
Oh my God.
Oh.
But we did have 2 people get shot. I don't know if you were there when the first person got shot in the hand.
Oh no, I wasn't.
I was literally in the back getting minnows.
Yeah,
and
I heard.
Oh, a couple of the guys come out of the
Idiot.
office with their guns drawn, dude, because we think there's a shooting going on. I thought they were playing pranks on each other in the office with firecrackers or something, and we come out and this customer's bleeding all over the counter.
Oh my
There's
God.
certain pistols a certain way that you like unload them and clear them, and he was a regular, and when he went
Idiot.
to clear his chamber, he actually had a round in there and he shot himself in the hand. And the worst
Yeah.
part was when we rewatched the camera, he's at the counter, he's here, gun guy's behind the counter. He almost shot our gun guy because
It wasn't Bill, was
Dan.
it? Dan.
It went right. I mean, your hand's very thin. It's not stopping anything.
Yeah.
And just the trajectory that he was at, he very narrowly missed the person who was
That
helping him.
bullet hole is still there.
And so that was with
Yeah,
his
it's still
handgun. He was
there.
supposed to be clearing it to give it to our gun guy. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And another one
I wasn't there for that.
was out in the parking lot. Some people had just come in, must have had their gun service. They had a 30-06 rifle. And
I don't think I
there was
that
always a
either.
joke that he must have pissed her off and she shot him and he was covering because 2 males and a female, who was one of the one's girlfriend, came in, do what they need to do. They're getting in the parking lot and all of a sudden they're calling 911 because the one male had been shot through the thigh with his 30-06, and they said he was loading it into his vehicle and it went off. So yeah, we had
Will
somebody
you
get shot in the
describe
hand.
what that gun looks like for people who don't know?
It's just
It's
a good
big,
caliber
right?
rifle.
It's a
Yeah.
rifle.
I mean, like, when
it's
I-
just a rifle. Yeah, it's a
and he
hunting
cheddar
rifle.
bobbed himself.
Yeah, dude,
That's
and
good.
at point blank range on a human
Oh
thigh,
my
you know.
God.
That
It's
feels
just-
good. I mean,
yeah.
you probably didn't feel it at first, I would think. I don't know, I've never been
It's like-
shot, but
I don't
Shock.
know. Not yet.
probably not right
Not
away,
yet.
but
You
yeah,
plan on
no, we
getting
didn't feel
shot?
I
it.
mean, you never know.
Yeah, so we had someone get shot in the hand and somebody get shot in the thigh, so I forgot about that. So
No, I
Wow.
have not had that. But that kid almost dying in there, that was insane.
crazy.
That was
Yeah.
probably one of the craziest, because it's not, that was traumatizing for me for sure. And I should have probably gotten CPR certified at some point in my life just because of that, because
If we're still on the subject of work experiences, that leads me into my next thought question. Have you ever stayed quiet about something inappropriate at work because you needed the money more than the justice?
I have.
Yeah, me too.
There was one time at that same sporting goods store, there is a very, very, very personal detail about my life that my boss ended up finding out and went around to everybody in the store and asked them if they knew about this really so personal. Like, I do not
Okay,
tell
Michael
people about
Scott.
this. And it was it was
Jesus.
just so inappropriate. And I remember feeling so humiliated and so mad, but like, where was I going to go? What was I going to do?
Yeah.
Like, and so I just had to like be pissed
Just have it
by myself,
Oh my God.
cry in my car.
That's crazy. And was it a man? Was it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was a man. He's a little
I feel like I
misogynistic,
remember
but
this.
yeah, that was pretty intense. There were certain things. I was
Yeah.
pregnant at the time, and there were certain things that I
Oh,
didn't
maybe
tell a
not.
lot of people about.
Huh.
And one of my coworkers, how they got onto this topic is beyond me. They're just bullshitting in the office about me for whatever the fucking reason was. And yeah, then after that, my boss went around to everyone. It's like, did you know? And I didn't know
That's
about that
ridiculous.
until Bill. Bill told me that
Really?
he went up and said it
Wow.
to Bill and everybody
That's
at the
so
gun
unfortunate.
counter.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, oh, great. So
It really is giving Michael Scott, though. I'm sorry, that's what it reminds
yeah,
me
but
of.
at least Michael Scott has like an innocent, like
Yeah.
5-year-old brain. This guy just
Yeah.
knows, and
when
he's
he
just
like
a
tells
dick.
everyone that Stanley was cheating on his wife,
Oh,
and, then
yeah.
and then he creates a new, he comes up with new lies to tell everyone.
Honestly, I wouldn't even be that mad if that
If it happened
type of
that
situation
way.
happened that way. I'd be like, well, thanks for trying to cover your tracks. This guy's just blatantly like,
That's so.
oh, did you know? 'Cause he loves to gossip,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Blatant disrespect.
Just like,
blatantly.
God,
Yeah.
Like,
so
I don't understand
inappropriate.
that. I don't know why so many people have to butt their noses into everybody else's business.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like,
Bitches love
my
to
whole
gossip.
mindset is,
I mean, I do
unless
too, but
a person or an action or something is directly affecting me or my family or hurting me or my family or something that's correlated within my little world, then I don't speak of it again. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm gonna hear something and then go repeat it. And especially in a workplace, because I've had like the same sort of things where you have somebody that either you feel like you can trust or you're telling somebody that you think you can trust and somebody overhears. I'm not sure exactly how that happened. You said you told him, right?
no, I didn't tell him.
No, she didn't know how he came up with it.
Yeah,
so however, whether he overheard it or whatever, or like there's literally zero reason for any of that, whether he was told or he found out. Like, why are people so okay with with spreading or talking about others' lives, or spreading drama or rumors,
because they're miserable in their own fucking lives.
trying to hurt somebody, because that happens a lot too. Is whether it's from jealousy, envy, anger.
Well,
I seriously do not. It is such a hard thing, and I have such a hard time wrapping my head around that. Social media is the same way in a sense. Like, somebody makes a post, somebody posts something, and then you have all your 15 Karens and Jims down there,
Jims. I call them Kevins.
Their opinion, or like, your opinion, like, in my line of work, in my industry with the hunting and the horses and the livestock, it's a very controversial thing in society today. For a lot of I'm not trying to be, but more like city type people, or people that just don't understand.
Yuppies.
There's your people that just don't understand, and then there's your straight up antis that are trying to, so it's like, I deal with that, and I see that a lot, where somebody's just posting something that either it's their opinion or it's something they're happy about or whatever, and then you get all these other people that are trying to degrade and hurt and demean,
Yeah,
and it's like, I don't know why.
I think there's two answers why, two main reasons. And I think the first one is gossip culture is totally normal in our society. Gossiping is like almost like a social bonding thing. And it's a problem. So gossip, number one. And then number two is fear of confrontation. So you have a large group of people who enjoy gossiping and just see it as like, social talk, whatever, social bonding. And then on top of that, also are uncomfortable with confrontation. So they're going to hear something about somebody and go tell everybody else and never even talk to that person about it. Sometimes it's spreading gossip, which would have been your situation. Yeah. And like what I have happen a lot in my current workplace is maybe somebody's not doing their job very well, and other people will see that or feel that way, and they'll go tell everybody else that person does a poor job, and they will never go tell that person what they're doing wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that's so
I'm
common.
kind of the opposite in that, and going back to what the original question is, like I already touched on, a majority of my things have been more on like customer base.
Yeah.
Because I I can be like a people pleaser and whatever to like close personal relationships, but when it comes to strangers, I have no problem. I'm very comfortable with, especially in like where I'm at now in my life. I am very comfortable with
Yeah.
I prefer confrontation over
Feeling uncomfortable.
feeling like I'm talking about somebody, especially if it's a negative thing. I prefer confrontation. I would rather, even if you come up to me and say, "Do you have a problem with me?" I'm sure as fuck do. And you want to know what it is, I'll tell you about it. I would rather tell you what my problem with you is than to go around and tell everybody else what my problem with you is.
Yeah.
Because what does that do?
Yeah.
And going back to the original question, I don't think I've ever really been put in that circumstance. And if anything, I have done the opposite, where maybe I don't make a scene, but I would call it quiet rebellion. And the best example I can think of is at the same sporting goods store you're talking about. Were you there for the book that we had to initial and the drama with the book?
Oh, yeah.
The book. So basically, we worked in retail. So you have some 70-year-old women and some 17-year-old girls all working together. Okay. And we didn't even all get along. A couple of people really didn't even like me and even said bad things about me. Okay, that's fine. I don't have to be a type of way, right? Well, we started getting this book. We were required to look through an initial to acknowledge that we had read through the book.
Yeah.
And at first I'm doing this and I don't have a problem with it. And I slowly developed a problem with it because I felt that the person who was in charge of the book was kind of having a power trip with it. And I thought that it was degrading towards some of the workers. And I thought that she was being very condescending in it. And so I developed a problem because I have a little bit of an authority issue where people just, oh, I have power over you. Okay,
Which
that's
is
how
so
I feel about that.
relevant in the workplace.
We all bleed red,
yeah.
baby. And so it started to irritate me. And it wasn't about me. It was specifically what set me off was we had an older worker who was very old. I knew her personal situation. She shouldn't have even been working, honestly.
Yeah,
and I felt bad for her. And our joke was always some days you just wanted to hug her frail little bodies, and some days you just wanted to shake her little neck.
God,
but you just loved her either way, even when she pissed you off.
I still think about her.
I see her from time to time. I visited with
really
her.
like her.
I know
and
we talked about too, since all three of us worked there, even though I was like,
yeah,
that's okay.
And so these mistakes she was putting in the books, of course, would be copies of different documents. And on every single document, we sold game and fish licenses. So our names as agents would print off on those. And whoever was signed into a register, your name was also logged on, would print off, right? And so the person making the book was photocopying these and then putting Sharpie over it, but you could still visibly see the name.
You could see it.
So I was getting pissed because this book was like getting full. This book was getting full of like one person's name over and over. And then maybe certain people, whatever. One person's name that you can clearly see. So I'm like, why don't you just talk to this person instead of making everybody aware that they're consistently making mistakes? Okay, just talk to them. And then she started putting condescending notes in here, like circling something and literally writing as if we're 2-year-olds, this is a big no-no. And that's how I read it. This is a big no-no. And I was like, really, bitch?
That's how she's
so I stopped signing the book. I stopped signing the books, and the books were probably about 3/4 to an inch thick usually. And it got to a stack about that big, and she would they every day or every week?
Oh my God.
I want to say it was every day.
I think it was
really
every single day.
And so what, these were just complaints about other
They were
workers?
photocopies of mistakes where she was looking at the transactions for the day and something. There was mistakes made, right?
Okay.
Whatever, whichever way or another. Okay, it's fine. I
happens,
understand. I understand the principle. She deviated from that with her little condescending remarks and this the way she was handling it. The principle there is that's fine. You mishandled it once you were given the power of authority over it. So now I have an issue. I stopped signing the books because I'm not going to participate in your little condescending little game you're playing, your little fucking power trip. Fuck you. And so I let the book stack up that high, and then I was talked to and told, you need to sign the books. Okay, walk away. Why aren't you signing the books? Walk away. And so I had multiple people then telling me that it was being complained about that I wasn't signing the books.
By her. Was the stack even bigger?
And I said, if she has a problem with me not signing her books, she can talk to me about it. Because now, again, you can tell that type of person, right? I'm not
Yep.
hearing it from her. I'm hearing it from everybody else in the store. She wants to
Yep.
know why you're not signing
Wait,
the books.
and was she a manager or anything? She was just a worker,
She was
right?
like our financials. She was in charge of like
she
our
was
financials.
not a freaking manager. She
She was like a financial lady.
Thought
She
she
did all the
was.
books. She
Okay.
did like
she was our bookkeeper.
she was a bookkeeper, yeah.
Okay.
And so
Yes.
she's doing this shit, right? So now I'm not hearing it from her. And I told them, if she wants to know why I'm not signing her books, she can come ask me why I'm not signing the books and I'll tell her. I think that's fair. Why should I tell 20 other people? Come ask me.
100%
Yeah.
fair.
So she asked
Yeah,
me in the bathroom
agreed.
one day. We're both in the bathroom.
Because
Yeah.
it's respect to
Yeah.
her
And
by
she,
you talking to her directly about it instead of hearing from
Yeah,
others.
dude. Yeah,
and
Just
she's
like
complaining
you
about
respect
it.
to you.
yeah, you want to know I'm
Like,
not signing? Why
you're
wouldn't you just
hearing
ask
from
me?
her.
And I'll tell you. And she
Yeah.
asked me.
She's
And
not
I told her, and I
confrontational,
said, I
though.
have a problem with what you're writing in there. I have a problem that you're not fully blacking out people's names. We can all see those names in this book. And like I said, I very rarely was one of them. So I don't have, it's not like I'm offended about, no, I'm offended for these people because I think that's disrespectful to them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
On top of that, you're writing very degrading, very condescending
Well,
notes
it's
in it.
humiliating.
You're talking
once
down to
again.
us.
Yeah.
I said, I disagree with everything you're doing. Da-da-da-da-da.
And then
So
making
she said-
everyone read it? That's so weird.
Yeah, and signing it.
It's for
No, I
every
don't
single
acknowledge your
employee.
bullshit.
That's
I don't
crazy.
acknowledge it. So then she told me that it was being handed down to her directly from the business owner, because there's a few stores throughout the state, that I am required to sign these books. And you know what I told her? Do you think, actually, you know what happened?
I know what
She said,
happened.
oh, this is coming from the man. You will sign these books. I said, if the man wants me to sign the books, he can come into the store and he can tell me that I need to sign these books or I'll be fired. And I will tell him exactly why I am not signing your books. I will tell him why. And I will refuse.
And she just made
And do you
that
want
up
to
too.
know what happened?
Yeah.
It was about a week or two later and the books no longer existed.
Oh,
Dude,
wow,
yeah, that
that's
didn't
nice.
that didn't last long though, did it?
They
The-
went away after that. It was
Well,
like
no.
it had gone on for probably a month or two at that point. 'Cause she
Yeah,
got
so it really
stack from
wasn't
me.
that long.
It had been going on for a couple months, and then yeah, and then she tried telling me, yeah, business
Said
owner
some
says you gotta
shit.
do it, and I was like,
You
tell
shut
me,
that
tell me that. If anybody remembers the fucking eclipse,
oh,
very big
yeah.
deal, because
Yeah.
especially like Casper, where we live, you know, was like a center point for it. Like
She puts Casper
a pretty close to a
Yeah.
once in a lifetime opportunity. We are like at one of the epicenters of an eclipse.
Yep.
And our stores, for some reason, open during the
Yeah.
beginning of the eclipse. Oh, because we are going to be open to totality. And then we're all out in the parking lot watching the eclipse with our sunglasses.
Because why
And
not?
our boss comes out and he's like, why am I in here ringing up customers? Why do I have 6 employees here and to ring up customers and you're all out in the parking lot and I'm in there doing
What
it?
customer was
And I'm
not
like,
watching the
Number one,
eclipse?
why are you open right now?
Yeah.
Number 2, why are there customers in the store right now? Do they not know there's an eclipse happening?
Yeah.
Have you sent them
Literally.
outside and told them to get their glasses and look up?
I still have that
We did.
shirt.
We literally refused to go inside. We're like,
Yeah, no.
boss man, there's an eclipse and this might never happen again in our lifetime. So fire us if you need to. We're going to watch it.
So yeah, back to with the original question, I did have a lot of times where I was like quiet about things. I dealt with sexual harassment from my manager when I worked at Shoe Carnival. I'm gonna just say what it
Who
is. I don't give a
cares?
fuck.
Fuck
Yeah, dude, why
them.
not? Well, they handled it
was handled
appropriately.
it well,
They did.
partially. Yeah. So basically, I was 18 or 19, I think. I worked at Shoe Carnival. I was a cashier up at the front. I had a general manager who was, I think, like 27, so like not too much older than me. And he would always make very inappropriate comments to everybody. It was not just me. It was because he had better relationships with some of the other people there. So a lot of what he did say was directed at other people. But you could tell they were uncomfortable. It was never like a back and forth, like, oh, ho, ho, this is funny, like with your friends. It was like, no one was comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And he would schedule it to where it was just me and him in the mornings. And it'd be
I
like,
remember you telling me this. I literally
Yeah.
remember.
Oh, I remember this so well.
Like,
it was
I
a big
remember
deal
you
when it was
every
happening
single
because it was
morning.
constant. It was a lot.
I went through it
I
for a
don't
long
remember.
time. Yeah. So yeah, he'd schedule it to where it's just me and him, and I would like go to the back of the store. I'd avoid him. I'd like wait until a customer would come up, and then I'd like go up to the front, check him out real quick, and then go hide in the store because he would say, honestly, I blacked out a lot of what he said.
Fish comment.
What was the fish comment? I
I
don't
think
remember.
it was like, this was like the last one that set you off. I think it was like the straw that broke the camel's back, and it was something of like, I think he came up to the register or something, right? And was like,
It smelled like fish.
do you smell that? Something
Yeah.
smells fishy. And then it was like, oh, I think it's just you or
yes.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, like something
Yeah.
along those lines.
And we were not friends.
Yeah.
We didn't
I would
have
have
any
punched
sort
that
of, like,
motherfucker
Like, even, like,
That was like it.
we didn't have any sort of relationship that was even, like, cordial. Like, we didn't talk. I did not talk to him at all.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I would go home every day and I'd be crying because he would say horrible things. And then I'd tell my mom about them and she'd be like, you need to tell someone. And I'm like, he's my manager. I don't know who to tell.
Yeah.
She's like, you have to tell someone, though. Like, go above him. And I was so scared. And then finally, yeah, it was probably that one that happened. I had videos of it, though. I started taking videos.
Yep,
because
smart.
One thing
receipts.
about court.
She's always got it on video.
Yeah. If I'm gonna tell you something, I'm gonna have receipts to back it up. So you don't think I'm fucking crazy, because I've been called crazy so many times.
Well,
I'm gonna
shit.
have proof.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, I call corporate, or I emailed them, or my mom helped me. I don't fucking remember, but somehow corporate was notified. I go into work the next day. This big macho man comes in, and he's probably 40-something, just tough looking dude, you know. Everyone is immediately freaked the fuck out because corporate's there, and no one knows
Oh,
why.
yeah.
And so he goes to the back in an office, and he calls everyone back one by one by one. And we were all told not to talk to each other about what we talked about back there,
Mhm.
which no one fucking did.
course
Everyone
not.
talked about it. So basically, no one knew that I told. I was the
Mhm.
whistleblower.
We love it. Okay, Aaron
The Jon
Brockovich.
Snow, baby.
So, everyone gets called back, and then it's my turn to go back. And I'm like, fuck, I'm so scared. So I go back there. I sit down. I'm just this little girl. And he's like, so just explain to me, like, what's going on? This big old macho man, you know? And I'm like, well, I'm being sexually harassed. Here's some evidence. I, like, show him the videos. And, dude, one of the videos, it was so bad. It was, like, you couldn't hear a lot of what he said. And then all of a sudden, super loud out of nowhere, he goes, you can beat my meat. And I was like,
Oh,
What?
but I'm like,
This
I
is
rest my
it.
case, like, look at what he's saying, you know? And, yeah, that's, like, one of the only things I really, really remember him saying because of when I played it for the corporate guy. And so, yeah, he basically said, do you think maybe he's just joking?
Oh, yeah.
Shut the
Oh,
front
yeah.
door.
And I immediately was like, I made the biggest mistake ever. I should have told anyone I'm getting fired. I'm so fucked. Like, I was so scared in that moment. I was so fucking scared. And I just mustered up all my strength and I said, even if he is joking, I don't like it. And that's all that mattered,
Yeah.
because I looked up the law
Damn right,
beforehand.
girl. Mm.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I looked up the law beforehand, and it said in the state of Wyoming, sexual harassment just needs to be unwanted. You don't
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
ask them to stop. You don't have to have multiple times it happens. Like,
Yep.
you just have to have it be unwanted. Like, that's it. And so I was like, I don't like it. I don't fucking like it. So basically afterwards, what I found out from the new manager who took over, because they let him go, was
Good.
he called his boss, so like the big lady, and he said, this is what's going on, I think she's overreacting, blah blah blah. And
course
she
you're
said, if you do not fire him, you will lose your job.
Nice.
And so he was fucking out of there
Girl
so quick.
boss, yes.
And then this new manager lady, she took over. She told me everything that had happened, because she'd been briefed on all of it, basically, you know. There was one girl that worked there, her name was Brittany, she was like a junkie. Probably shouldn't say her name.
There's a million Britneys
Yeah.
in the world, dude.
And she
Well,
liked
my
him.
sister's Brittany.
Yeah.
It's Brit.
Yeah. But she liked him. She had a crush on him. She was the only person who worked there that would, like, flirt back with him when he would say these
Gross
aggressive,
Gross.
disgusting things. And so, I mean, everyone knew that too, but she told the corporate man, which is why he was kind of like, maybe she's overreacting. She said her mom has cancer. She's going through a hard time right
Oh
now.
my god.
She's making all of it up. None of this is
And
happening.
we never fought her?
Oh, dude, I was so mad.
We never
I
fought
was
her?
so mad.
I'm actually shocked because I don't
Did I
remember
not
that.
tell you? I remember that was like the biggest fucking.
I
thing
feel like
that-
we would have made plans.
I don't ever.
I don't remember that
I
at
don't think we
all.
would've made plans to pull up back then, bro.
Everyone, because that was like
I
the
would've
thing that
straight-
pissed me off the most.
Hmm.
And the only
We would've
person,
been getting her
so
Addie.
basically, she wasn't the only one though, okay? Everyone said that I lied. Everyone said I made it up. She was the one that went, like, far to say, like, oh, her mom's dying. She's overreacting.
She's like, oh, this is
Which,
why
like,
She's crazy.
really fucking-
she's hallucinating.
Yeah.
She's
Her
temporarily
trauma response is to
insane.
make
Just
things
to make
up.
things up about her manager.
Jesus.
Even though she has videos.
Wow.
And so, yeah, no, everyone lied, except for the lady who ended up taking over as manager. Her name was Liz, and she was so, so sweet. She told me that she's the only one who told the truth, and that they told her afterwards that, like, everyone lied. You're the only one who told the truth. You're gonna be the next answer."
Damn.
Hell yeah.
So
That's another reason. Always just do what's right.
you never
dude.
know
Speak
what the
fucking
outcome's
truth.
going to be, so
Yeah.
you might as well just go for it.
And it was so scary.
Yeah, but
and
guess what? Karma's a bitch.
Yeah.
And that's the
Karma
thing
is
is all
my
these people
boyfriend.
lied.
Karma is
So
a
they didn't lose
god.
their jobs. The one person doing the problem, he lost his job. The other people kept their jobs. But the one other person that told the truth and did the right thing got the upgrade. The
Exactly.
promotion.
Yeah. And afterwards, he tried filing for unemployment, and they
Denied
denied
him.
it.
Hell yeah.
They're like, you
Because it
got
has to
fired
be
for
at no
sexual
fault of
Yeah.
your own. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no fault of your
Yes.
own.
Yeah.
You fucking idiot.
So
Men.
that was my
I'm
experience.
not sorry about it. Okay, but for real, if work has been heavy for you lately, we see you. We can relate. We joke about it because that's how we survive it, but you're not crazy for feeling the burnout, overwhelmed, or underpaid. We all been there. So yeah, put your worst comment. So
That is your worst review.
about the whole podcast.
Yeah, all the hate comments.
No, but seriously, put your worst work story in the comments. Let's trauma bond a little bit. And until next time, protect your peace, take your PTO, and don't let your job convince you that you're the problem. This is Traumatic Comedy.
Clocking out.
Bye.
Bye.